Test, test. Are we alive? Hello. It's Friday. I'm a little bit late. Quite a bit late. Hope you've had a... Excuse me. Hope you've all had a good week. And enjoyed your first week of 2024. I'd say I've enjoyed the week. I've not made the most of it, but I certainly have enjoyed it. And I think that's the main thing. Greetings. How's it going? Hey, Lisa. Yo. Good to see you both. Hope you are doing well. Hope you're feeling a bit better. Just realised I haven't got my Stream Deck plugged in, so I'm going to have to click things with mouse. Don't want to be doing that. How are you doing? Not bad. It's been a quite a lazy day. Got up a few hours later than I was expecting. But yeah, I got some jobs done, so I'm happy. Happy about that. Let's minimise that. Let's test. There we go. It's working. Doing good. Glad to hear. Hey, Nix. Thank you for the hearts. So today I wanted to do this anyway. However, I kind of ran out of time. Didn't really plan properly today. So I thought I might as well stream what I was going to do anyway. Because I was going to stream, going to do this. Kind of makes sense. And I might actually start doing more streams like this. My fear is it could probably be me doing a lot of reading, going, how does this work? How do I do that? And it's not going to be as interesting, but I can see how it goes, see if people are interested. So what we're looking at here, of course, is the Unity game engine, the one that's caused lots of controversy fairly recently. However, I'm sticking with it for the moment. It's not doing me any harm. But I was messing around trying to work out like sort of things in Unity, how it works and so forth. So our lovely little folk here. I think he might be a bard or a ranger of some kind of D&D character pack I downloaded. I worked on this about 4 months ago, just playing around. I've not touched it since. So thought we'll play around with this. The idea being I wanted to make a game, a very basic game, because I've got big game in mind. But just as a basic game that I could just make one game and give it to people. Is this game we talked about during the streams? Possibly, yes. Fantasy game. Oh, not the fantasy game is the big game. This is a silly game. It's a silly game, and we should not worry too much about it. Idea being, so I basically bought a castle pack from Humble Bundle, and you got all these little bits of castle, which is pretty cool. So I might use this in my big game. I don't know, but it'd be a shame not to. There's lots of castles. But this is a silly game where I want to use this medieval flinging weapon, Chevrolet, I think, which is possibly French. However, it is static, so I need to work out how to make this less static, and possibly allow the ball not to be in there. And I want to be able to knock down this building. So that's going to be a lot of work, because this building is made up of two parts, this wall and the building. So I would have to tinker with it, change the asset, probably make multiple parts so the wall could fall apart maybe. But in the meantime, I have worked around with some code for this bowling ball. I can open this up. What I might have to do is make another source for this to come through. While that's doing that, let's go back to Unity. I should have done this before stream. I should have opened everything. But Microsoft Visual Studio is the code editing software that is linked to Unity, which is good because that's what I use at work when I'm working on anything. Unfortunately, Unity doesn't want to open up while it's got Visual Studio coming open. Can we tab it? I would quite like to look at Unity. I suppose Unity is Unity's working opening Visual Studio. This may take some time. Busy for 1 minute 20 seconds. That's useful. While it's doing that, then we'll do this. Yay! Oh dear, how fluffy am I? So yes, I've been worked around with this. It's I've got a mini game that I've learned from a tutorial where you hit a button and it will fire a bowling ball in one direction. It's basically a bowling game where you kind of have these cylinders that represent bowling pins, as you would in a 10-pin bowling alley, and a sphere representing a bowling ball, and you just have a bit of code that tells it to go push sphere in direction at a velocity, and of course if bowling ball hits pins, pin fall over. Very simple stuff, but it's good to learn and work on, so you can get the principles, I suppose. There we go. Let's go back. So there's your Unity. Let's do another window capture. Window capture. Call this Visual Studio. Okay. Of course, that's useful. It will pull it up straight away. We want to make that a mini bit smaller. What I might do for this stream only. Let's go with my wall overlay. Do that. Let's bring Visual Studio down. So I can turn Visual Studio off, and we've got Unity underneath. Yeah, I kind of rushed this because I want to get streaming as soon as possible. Right. Not sure you can read all that code, especially with my face in the way. Right, giving up. You're giving up. You're already giving up. I was trying to get Mountain and Blades 2 to run. Kept crashing all day. Oh no. Sorry to hear that. Hate when you things just don't want to work for you. Could do with moving that over slightly. Where is it? Visual Studio. Go turn PC off and lay in bed with laptop. Okie dokie, you do that. I'll see you shortly. Maybe that works. Possibly. Say a little bit janky. So let's do that. Kind of looks like we've got a couple of windows open now, which we have. Yeah, so the code for the bowling ball, simple stuff. We have to define the forward motion force, forward force. The left border, we don't have to define the left border or the right border. This is kind of a hangover from the bowling game, because that's kind of just how far left and right you want to be able to move the bowling ball, of course. So you have to define what is left and what is right. We have movement increment. So how much you want to move the bowling ball. before you fire it. So again, these three here are part of the bowling alley, but I put them in there because it doesn't hurt anything. And then we have the rigid body. In Unity, a rigid body is something that can interact with another thing. It is solid, it is rigid, it is a tangible thing. So if you have one rigid body and another rigid body, they can go clunk and hit each other. If they're not a rigid body, they just pass through and they clip and you can see through it and stuff. So a lot of times in video games, if you can walk through something you're not supposed to walk through, it wasn't set as a rigid body, or at least the equivalent for that game engine. So I'm not sure if rigid bodies are unique to Unity, or whether each game engine has its own version. But that's what that is. So we got the rigid body, and that is assigned to the bowling ball class. So we're saying whatever we decide is a bowling ball has a rigid body, and we can then add a force. So Unity has its own kind of physics built in. So we can add a force to that rigid body, and we can tell it to move forward times by moving forward times by the force and force mode impulse. I think that's just instant. So we can tell it to, in an instant, move forward with the force that we give it. So all these things here can be defined outside the code, which is good. They don't have to be. I don't have to type in what the force is. I don't have to type in how far left the border is, how far right the border is. It exists, and I tell it later, which is good. So in Unity, we can grab our bowling ball. Can't stop, still trying. Oh no. Might have to kill it. Or you just can't stop yourself from trying again. Depends how you're determined. You feel it. Sometimes perseverance and determination can get through, but as long as you don't keep doing the same thing without adjustment and go, okay, if that's not working, maybe there's a reason that's not working. Do I need to try something else? Is it something else that's interfering with it? Not even in the mood for the damn game. Works now, by the way. Awesome. When I happen to fix it, I'll be nice and close it. Yeah, you can sleep. You can lay down and rest, sleep, and be happy, and then play it when you're in the mood again. Right. Timing, tilting. The bowling ball has that. Is it this particular ball? Yes, it is that ball. Once you start trying to fix it, you actually have to fix it. It's like addiction. Yeah, I can understand that. You go, well, you either go, stuff it, I'm walking away, don't want to deal with it at all, and you don't even want to look at it. Or you go, well, I will not be beaten by this. I will not give up, because giving up is failing. I don't want to fail, and I can do better than what this is doing. As long as you don't burn yourself out in the process. I'm going to do a tiny bit of Final Fantasy 14 and then make a Minecraft server. Nice. You talk about that bit since my version is less legal. Okay, as long as it all connects. Different legal. Yeah, differently legal. Let's turn that back on. There's no sounds. Shall we have a little bit of music? Because supposedly there's a streamer friendly Spotify list. Let's have a look at this. Yes, I played with legal owning people. You played. Did you play with? Yes, we have played with mods before. Obviously, you can. I think you can activate, deactivate the mods. Yeah, we played with quite a few mods before. Mainly like sci-fi based mods, Pokemon mods we've had before. It's kind of fun. You walk around trying to catch Pokemon, very digitally pixel Pokemon. But yeah, so many things, and we just keep trying out different mods, deactivating, trying something else. So search for Twitch. Stream friendly. You can try this. Yeah, seems okay. Not sure if that's coming through or not. You still use mods? We've not played for a while. I think the last time we played, we had mods. But of course, we can deactivate all those and just use the mods relevant to the server. If indeed we are using mods. There they are. Any mods you can't play without like oh no. They're only really for just a bit of fun. No, we can play vanilla Minecraft if it comes to it. They're just usually because they're a bit of fun. Just have a modified playthrough. But yeah, if it comes to it, we're quite happily taking all the mods off. Not an issue. That's annoying. It's got a bit of a delay on changing the volume there. Test 1 2. Yeah, still okay there. Turn it down a little bit more. It's just in background. There we go. Okay. Rigid body sphere, collided bowling ball. Here we go. So down the bottom here, we've got a forward force of 25. I put in left border -2, right border 2. That's kind of an XY coordinate. And move increment is 0.5, so move 0.5 units per increment. So will it show the play screen? I suppose it would, because it plays within Unity. Oh, you're falling over. I think this seems to be slightly rear heavy. What is this? Skip that. We want to rotate that character slightly around the around that axis. What happens now? Replay at that point. Nope. Is it because... No, he should be on the ground now. Yes, he's a bard. Okay. There's got to be a way of animating these pre-made characters. Not entirely sure how we put an animator object. I've got a sword here as well. Let's move him that way. Would probably like to have the camera from this angle, to be honest. There's camera. Main camera. I think this game looks pretty cool already. Oh, thank you. So yeah, everything I've made myself is literally the bowling ball. Everything else is a pack I've downloaded, but it's how you put it together at the end of the day. But I'm going to start with this bowling ball and get the bowling ball to interact with the building. Then, as I say, the ideal scenario would be this trebuchet be the means of throwing the ball or the rock or whatever I decide it to be. And the player moves the trebuchet and activates at what point it fires. I would like to move this camera. That's cool. Oh, glad you think so. So this is literally just a testing the mechanics type game. Seeing what I can do. And then once I've got the basics down with this game, I can work on the big fantasy one. Knowing that I'm not spending most of my time kind of trying to work out how to make the game, if that makes sense. Unless it's on a creative scale, there'll be certain things I will go, I'm not sure how to do a specific. Whoop, that angle's a bit weird. Put the z-axis back to 0. Understand that. Cool. Weird music on this Twitch-friendly playlist, which is probably why it's on the playlist, because it's not copyrighted. This talk with you and watching you has made me interested in game development too. Awesome, as a hobby. Yeah, that's what it's going to be a hobby at least for now, and then if I can start making something decent, maybe. It's always better just to try stuff with silly games. I agree. Try out sort of doing a silly thing, and then you do it for real, I suppose. Let's say I would want to make a 2D hack and slash shooter platformer. What program should I use since this is 3D? Aha. Unity can be a 2D game as well. So if I wanted to, I could make this as a 2D game and have the player only move on this axis. You can do the same in sprites. Yeah, you could put a sprite in there. It doesn't have to be 3D objects. So if I wanted to add, let's go. Want to add an object. It's 3D because it's a 3D game. If I started this as a 2D game, rather than saying 3D object, it'd be 2D object or 2D object. Think Blender also does 2D. I'm not sure. I need to look into Blender because Blender will allow you to make your own 3D objects and export them in a way that Unity can use them. Because Unity you can make your own objects, but it's very basic. But Blender is so much going on. What the hell is this version? Clay K Slider. It's got a picture of the dog girl from Animal Crossing. It's all about that base. Megan Trainor, but possibly a Animal Crossing cover. Yeah. But yeah, if I were making a 2D game, rather than giving 3D objects, it would automatically give me 2D objects rather than 3D objects. Let's delete that. So you can start a new file just in 2D. Let's go. A new project. You obviously can't see the this window, but yeah. Let's do another window capture. Oh, you make this a temporary one. There it is. Yeah, so if you go to make a new project in Unity, it gives you options. You can either do a 2D game with basics, a 3D game with basics, 2D game with the universal renderer pipeline, which I think is a slightly more enhanced renderer to allow it to work on more things. You can make get a template for a 3D mobile game, so everything's kind of optimized for mobile games. A 2D game for mobile, again 2D games optimized for mobiles. It's also got a cinematic studio, so you can just make something that's purely animation, not to actually play as a game, but to watch. There's other settings I've not downloaded, so I can make a mixed reality game, a VR game, AR game again, core. So that's just basics for that. There's got a couple of sample scenes on that. There's also learning as well, but they got rid of the learning parts for the newer versions of Unity for some reason. Possibly when Unity got taken over, they stopped making learning templates, which is a bit of a shame. But the older versions of Unity, there's like pretty much like a full game that you could just pull apart and edit and change and stuff, just to learn how it worked. And there's like little tasks that, okay, let's make this thing do this, and then you do that thing to it. But that's quite cool. But you can get plenty of learning stuff on online without it being built into Unity, which is fortunate. But yeah, but I might make a 2D game at some point as well. So apart from the big fantasy game idea I have, I'm quite happy just to make a few little things just to test my skills and learn stuff. Right, so I wanted to move my camera. Where's the camera? Main camera. So main camera's pretty much where I want it to be. I think I want it to come back this way a bit more though. There we go. So I hit play on the game. There we go. So the ball is now in the bottom right corner of the window. Hitting ball. Because as I mentioned earlier, this building is not a rigid body. So as far as the game's concerned, it's just there for visuals. It has no purpose otherwise. So the ball, being a rigid body, just goes straight through it. And it'll just keep going. The ball probably is somewhere... Whoops. Remember which controls are. The ball probably comes so far over here and stops. Because it's Unity does emulate resistance as well. So you can give an object a texture. You can either make it super smooth, so as if it's made of ice, or you can give it a texture, and of course two objects with texture moving over each other causes friction, and the friction slows down velocity, and eventually any moving object comes to a stop. And Unity does all that for you. You just need to tell it how smooth or rough the surface of an object is, and it calculates how long it takes to stop, which you can modify as well. You go, well, it still needs to take a bit less time to stop, or a bit more travel on it, but Unity allows that in there, which is cool. Takes a lot of hard work away. You don't need to calculate how things will work, but it does mean that any games made in Unity, you can pretty much guarantee you know how they're going to work when you play them. But that's that. House modular. Okay. So this house is got 4 sides to it. But it is not solid. You can travel through it. Interesting, the brick parts, the details and stuff, have multiple textures on them. Like it's a whole object all the way around. But the walls themselves are only one-sided textures. But doesn't matter because we're not planning to be inside the building. Possibly in a game sense, you could probably walk up to this door, push a button, screen face to black, screen fades from black and you're inside the building, and that could be like another part of the game somewhere, like maybe underneath this part of the level. It will put the character in a smaller room underneath the level, and you walk around, push the button again, fade to black, fade from black, and put the character back up here again. That's possibly how I would do it. Kind of like Stardew Valley, the buildings exist in a separate place. The inside of the buildings exist compared to the outside of the place. So the farmhouse and the farm, well, the inside farmhouse and the farm do not exist in the same place. And the character, the player, is transported between the two. Ah, yes, yeah. You could build like the entirety inside this building. Of course, you could have like stairs, you could have rooms, objects. Look out the window and actually see the world outside. There's a lot more to think about there. Classic games, of course. Go up to the door, push a button, and then appear inside the building. Okay, not sure about this playlist. Not sure how loud it's coming through for you folks, if you can hear it, okay? But it's weird. It's obviously a lot of indie artists. Can't wait for Stardew 6.1, me neither. Yeah, as soon as it comes out, I'm going to try and check it out without any mods. See how it works, because I've most likely, if not guaranteed, all the mods will break. In fact, quite a few of the mods that we were playing with. I played Stardew Valley a few days ago, with the mods still installed, and the amount of text that comes up on Smap again. All this is depreciated. That's depreciated. That's not going to work soon. That's not going to work. It's yeah, it's ready to fall apart already. But it doesn't matter. I'm sure a lot of the good mods will continue on. But I know, unfortunately, not all of them. So we would like to make this building collidable. So we want a collider. So you go add component. Interesting, it doesn't show up on OBS. Box collider. Let's give it a box collider. So what a box collider is, as you might have noticed in some games, like the hitbox, like the box that the game considers the object to be, regardless of how you see the object, it's the bit that the game considers the player bumps into. So you can have like a really weird shaped object, but it might just be a cube as far as the game is concerned. So in this case, we have this green cube, and that is what the game considers to be the solid object. So if the player was to be able to get up as far as the roof, they wouldn't be able to stand on the roof, but they might be able to stand on this bit here as if it was a flat piece of ground. You can edit the box collider, change it into a better shape. But in this case, the collider sits just in front of the building. So in this player, we get this bard here. Rather than using a box collider for the bard, it's having the bard has a capsule, what they call a capsule collider. So it's basically like a big pill. You can see around here, it's like this curved cylinder, but with a dome on either end. So within that space there is the collider for the character. So these arms aren't part of the collider. You could pass through the arms, but you couldn't pass through the main part of the body. That's possibly why he's falling over, because the collider is curved and it will fall over. Shall I change? Can we change this one? Material trigger size, layer, character controller, slope, step, skin width. Interesting. Okay, that's for you. Edit collider. Ah, so I can actually modify. Let's come back here. Hold Alt after clicking control handle to pin center in place. Hold Shift after clicking control handle to scale uniformly. So we want Alt. Oops. Okay, some interesting bits there. You two have Java, by the way, not Bedrock. Yes, Java. Java has all the mods. Bedrock, I don't think it has many mods for that. All the cool mods are for Java. Rigid body. It must be the collider. Yeah, the rigid body applies gravity. If something has a rigid body in Unity, it has gravity. If it has a collider, it means it can hit other things. That's what confused me when I first tried to work with Unity, is that why are things falling through the floor? So the floor has to be rigid. It needs to be it needs to have a collider, sorry. The floor needs to have a collider to say, well, this can be hit by things. And if you have something like a ball with a rigid body and a collider, the collider stops it from moving through the floor, but the rigid body allows it to sit on the floor using gravity. So the rigid body applies gravity to it. So now we've applied the collider to the building. In theory, if you throw the bowling ball, it hits the building now. There we go. So the building is solid, essentially. If I move the collider inside the wall, the bowling ball will probably clip into the wall slightly. But in this case, it doesn't really matter. We know it's going to be hitting somewhere on there. I would like to prevent this character from falling over. At least not until it's been hit. We could get rid of him completely. Again, I was messing around. Not vital to the entirety of the concept. But I do have a set of characters I wouldn't mind trying to use. Right. Center size, previous contact, layer overlays. Is there anything I can add to this? Making server now? Awesome. Events, layouts, mesh, physics, playables, playable director. Okay. Rendering, scripts, tile maps, UIs, visual scripting, new scripts, audio effects. I use a free host, but it's stable with up to 8 people, so 4 should be fine. Awesome. Particle systems. So yeah, particle systems are cool in Unity. Because a particle system, it just emits things. So this character is now emitting objects. You can change it to anything. You can make it to gas, you can make it fire, anything that would emit. I have to turn it into, I have to turn it on to work. It's not 24/7, but the other ones who use it just DM me and I'll put it online. If it goes offline for like 30 minutes empty. Cool. Okay, that's fair. That's where that keeps it, the cost down, makes it free. So no, 24/7 hosting costs a fortune. So the free part of it is obviously that it's not on 24/7. Evening, hey Max, how's it going? Happy New Year! Happy. That's the first time I said that actually. Happy New Year to Jeffrey and Lisa as well. I've typed it, but I've not said it. Happy New Year, Max. How you been? You have a good Christmas and a New Year? Whoop. My alarms tell me it's 11 p.m. Happy New Year, indeed. I keep forgetting it's. For every year that passes, it's not so much of a novelty anymore. Also, I haven't said it, I only typed it. Yeah. Yeah, I said Happy New Year to the immediate people around me. Like, I was in at my friend's place with a few other people. And, yeah, we obviously said it amongst the people in the room. And, of course, said it to my mother over a message. But apart from that, it's not something. Well, there's a few people I know on Facebook. Just put like a big post out saying to everyone on my friends list, "Happy New Year," and some kind of good fortune. All this. They all know it. I'm thinking it. I'm thinking it, and I'm sending it telepathically. But yeah, I've not said it out loud much. Yeah, I don't think we want a particle system right now at the moment. There's some pretty cool things you can do, but I found a entire tutorial on just working with a particle system. I made a like a roaring fire. So the idea of things moving had it so it was randomized and twisting and kind of changed the color as it moves, so it effectively made fire, which is pretty cool. You just had it kind of doing this. And there's like a file with just that in it. So if I wanted to make a fire, I could look back at that file and go, okay, that's how I made it then, and make it in the game. It's obviously not ultra realistic HD, but it's a pretty decent effect. But the big adventure game I wanted to make would probably have not necessarily this kind of graphics for the trees, but not far off it. Something quite cartoony and cute. I don't want to go for this ultra realistic stuff. There's too many AAA games going for high-end graphics, realistic looking stuff, and then don't really give you much more than your basic gameplay to go with it. You might have noticed this up here is actually the button. This big white square is the is the screen. When I hit play, it loads this up and then applies it to the camera over here. I don't know why it works that way, but apparently it does. But yeah, that's kind of, it brings it from there, attach it to that, and you have a game. Happy New Year, guys. I had a very hectic Christmas and New Year. Ooh, hope you've enjoyed it, though. You get to see a lot of family, Max? Are you travelling around? Yeah, so I only went to a friend's place for New Year's. For Christmas a little bit more involved. Went to my sister-in-law's parents' place, so got to spend an evening with them. That's kind of like the family going over to her family. Sort of the joining of families. My brother got married in the summer, so we spent an afternoon there, which is nice, having snacky foods and chatting. And then we had a great Christmas, Nix and I together with a couple of other friends. I cooked, if I do say so myself, cooked quite a nice Christmas meal. Could have been better. There's a couple of little bits I could have improved on. The carrots were a little bit more crunchy than I was planning, but still nice. And the roasties didn't quite roast. Not as roasty as I wanted them to be. Apart from that, good Christmas. And then Boxing Day, spent it with my parents and my brother. And of course, Nick's and my brother's wife, of course. Because we're all family now. So that was nice. It was a good 3 days of Christmas gatherings with family. And then, yeah, New Year with friends as well. So awesome stuff. Yeah, it's all nice to get together. Tell you what, oh, excuse me. Nice indeed. Let's move this chest over here. Put it next to the castle wall. Now the chest itself has a mesh collider. Mesh renderer, mesh collider. That was good, thanks. Spent Christmas Eve and Christmas Day with family. Then went up to Derbyshire with girlfriend to spend time with her family. Awesome. Yeah, Christmas is about planning about how you see the people you want to see, and not always in the same place at the same time. So it's sometimes kind of working who you can see and when. Whee! Off he goes. Yeah, so now I've got this chest in the way. It stops the ball rolling off. But every time I click this bowl button, it applies the same code they applied the first time, and of course you can just keep applying a forward force to this ball no matter whatever it is or what it's doing. So you can just keep going and going. Derbyshire trip was on Boxing Day. Cool. Oh. I'll be hitting my USB cables. Not a good idea. Now, the cool thing, of course, with this bowling ball and moving forward and all this, we can have a bit of fun. If we go 3D object and go cube. So this cube, where's the cube? There's a cube. So we've got a cube here now. Plain white cube. What we would like to do with the cube, however, is stretch the cube. So let's make it longer. Make it a little bit wider, but not so tall. So we make a platform. So everything in Unity is either a cube, a sphere, or a cylinder, basically, or a capsule. Four shapes. And you just basically modify the dimensions to get what you want. Went clay pigeon shooting with my girlfriend's dad and two brothers, which was fun. Oh, nice. I do enjoy clay pigeon shooting. I've only done it once, but I know how much fun I had doing it that once. Let's move that like that. You might have an idea what I'm about to do with this. Right, what we do with this now then is rotate it around that axis. Froggy song, what's going on? Froggy song. Okay. Interesting. I'm not completely sold on this the Twitch friendly playlist. Right. So this cube needs to have a well, it's got a box collider already on there. That's good. So in theory, if we go play now then. And go bowl. The ball runs up there and flies off. Bit more of an angle on that. Move the chest over here a bit more. Guitar bard. Oops. Okay. Oh. Rendered it all and then I stop the play. Right. Okay, so that flies up at that, and because it's falling, it loses any forward momentum. Where's the ball gone now? Now, can we change the object opaqueness? Select some material. Color. Oh, we've got emoji sprites in this pack. Castle, prefabs, models, materials, terrain. There we go. Town has a terrain material, so it's now green. So materials in Unity are colours, basically. The textures, what do you want it to look like? You can make your own materials, you can import them. You can edit them outside any kind of software and just drop it in. Then for New Year we both went back up to our parents and They got us tickets to a bloody posh ball 7-course meal with live entertainment, games and plenty of drink. Oh wow. That's pretty decent. You looked out there. Now I suppose what I could do, I'll put some code in that and modifies the rotation the rotation property of this ramp. I could make it so you can up the ramp and lower it. We would need the centre of it to be moved to the side. Can't remember how you do that. So we want it to hinge at the bottom, really. Unless, of course, you lower it into the ground and have it poking through the bottom. Those trees come through a bit there. I suppose for now, what I could do is work on how to determine where the ball hits the castle, because that will be part of the mechanic that I want to know where it hits the castle, as where to apply destruction. So we would need some code. Let's go for a new script. Create C# script. We'll call this castle. Castle hit. Didn't particularly want to look at the bowling ball script. I did because I hit enter. Okay, so we've got a castle hit script. Do we have anything else happening? What an event system. I'm not sure what the event system was about. Drag threshold. Cancel button. Submit button. Repeat delay. Actions per second. I think that the event system is probably for the UI, so you can actually control stuff. So yeah, the bowling ball is applied to the bowling ball. But what we would like is we can apply the castle hit code to the modular house. What should we call it in the castle? So the script is now attached to that house. So wherever the code we write in that piece of script will apply to that house. The good thing is the way Unity works, say you've got a common enemy sort of character, like you could say like skeleton warriors, for instance. You can write a skeleton warrior script piece of code that determines exactly what skeleton warriors do. You can then make a skeleton warrior enemy character, kind of a default, has all the things, put the script into that, and then you can place as many copies of that skeleton warrior as you want, and they're all running their own bit of that code. They're all running the same code but independently, if that makes sense. So they just go off and that code just keeps running, just applying to just that skeleton warrior. and whatever happens to that skeleton, the code runs just for that skeleton. But you can write a small bit of code and it just works independently on each piece, which is brilliant because you don't want it all working together in some ways. Unless they've got some kind of communication going on, like if a skeleton one gets hit, it alerts all the other ones, and all the other ones come and help it. In which case you'd have a outside piece of script that you'd change, like you'd have a, I suppose you'd have a alert. You'd probably have like an alert object. So the object wouldn't be a physical object, nothing you could see, but that object would be a call to arms, I suppose. That the skeleton warrior that was hit affects the alert object, and that alert object is what all the other skeletons are listening out for. They're going, is the alert object calling us? No? Okay, carry on. As soon as it calls them and go, the alert object is calling us, they change their behaviour to then go to the location that the alert was called. Then they might just switch on their thing, goes attack player, yes, no, yes. So simple things when you break it down like that, but you don't think, well, how would you make all the enemies attack me when I attack one of them? Or you have to, okay, the proximity thing's easy enough. I go, keep checking, is player close enough? If no, don't do anything. If yes, attack player. Server doing well, awesome. That's what we like to hear. Okay, so here's the code for the castle. So everything I type in here will be applied just to the castle. And with Unity code, it gives you two functions to start with. You have the start function and you have the update function. The start function, as soon as the object exists, which for the most part is when the game first starts running. So as soon as the object exists in the game, the start function runs. And then the update function runs every refresh, every frame of the game. So if you're running the game at like 60 frames per second, this code is running at 60 times per second. So you don't want to put anything in there that you don't want running 60 times per second, otherwise it will lag and you would have horrible performance. So anything you put in the update will have to be a very quick calculation, nothing more. Otherwise, if you apply it to like the skeleton warriors, every single skeleton warrior will be running the same bit of code 60 times per second. So that's how you get lag. Don't want to be doing that. But you can have some other code running, and the update function can be checking on that code. Go, like the alert feature, for instance. The alert feature for the skeleton warriors you could put in the update. Go, has an alert been called? Yes, no, no, carry on. Or yes, there's an alert been called. Change status to attack player. And just like a very simple little bit of code that just changes a couple of variables, a couple of values in the game, and just constantly checking. Something to do. So that's all that. So I don't think well, in this case for the castle, excuse me, for this case for the castle, the update would be, has the castle been hit by a ball? And we could check in every 60 times per second, has the castle been hit? And for that, they'll probably have to have a variable in there that says hit. So it'll be checking, is hit true? Yes, hit true. Start fire maybe. Now, I can't quite remember where the collision code is applied. There's a collision code applied separately. Might have to look at my... I had another project on my laptop where I worked out what the collision code should be. What a weird song. So we've got it so the bard will fall onto the ramp now, and we can hit the bard with the ball. Not what we're aiming to do, but it's funny. So colliders. Do the colliders... do I expose the... It might be in the... might be in the castle. I could try and write it in the castle script. So we want it to run this dot get component. No, I realised you don't get the context menu popping up. Good thing with Visual Studio is it kind of does like a predictive text called IntelliSense. Microsoft's branded kind of AI text, predictive text kind of thing. Still love playing Fall Guys. Oh, that's good to hear. I'm really enjoying Fall Guys. It's a shame it's been so buggy. Too buggy now, yeah. Yeah, I was playing a bit of Fall Guys earlier, and I was just floating around at one point, and I don't think I'm supposed to be able to float like this. So it's certainly got some issues. If I fail, I can't connect anymore. That's weird. Might be worth like completely uninstalling Fall Guys if you've not already tried. Broadcast message calls the method main broadcaster children. Do you get components? Get components. Mesh collider. Dot. Where is this mesh collider? Get mesh collider. So, collider castle equals new collider. We get eliminated round 1. I don't want to watch 20 minutes of other people, especially not on stream. Oh no, no. Close the application. Yeah, you don't want to lose your. You don't want to forfeit your points. Yeah, so that's really crap. That I've fortunately not had that issue. Well, I had it once. I've only had it once where I couldn't quit. I've been fortunate. I've been able to quit each time now. So yeah, so I've not had those kind of glitches. It's still a bit buggy, but I've not had a can't quit glitch for a long time. So I'm quite happy about that. Box collider, isn't it? Box collider. It's not valid in current context. Let's get that out of the way. So what's wrong with this? Component colliders should not be initiated directly. Okay, then. We will know to initiate it then. So we got castle. Castle's a collider. So castle. Castle equals this dot get components. Oh, game object. This game object dot get components mesh collider. Box collider. Not mesh collider, it's box collider. Collider. So I want to get the I want to grab the let's bring this over here. Where's my OBS gone? There it is. The good thing about Unity is it's well documented, even not by Unity by others. Hey Nix, thank you for the hats. I won't be on for too much longer. Would really like to try and get these collision things working. So Unity detect collision with specific object. Collision with specific object. Is it just a collision? how to detect collisions. That's 5 years ago. That's the thing. Some of it. The one problem that I will say with Unity is that the versions have been updated pretty much every year or so, and sometimes what would work with one version doesn't work with the other, which is quite frustrating. Make sure you go as a collider, it's not set a trigger. Okay, this is from 4 years ago, but 4 years ago doesn't really say much when it's pre-pandemic. Public class, my behavior avoids on collision enter. Could be that. It's an on collision event. Only thing with me having illegal Minecraft and you not. Illegal Minecraft can see each other's skins. Not the other way around. Okay. That's fair. Doesn't really bother me. So you just come through as default Steve skin, I suppose. So here's what I've mentioned about me reading stuff. It's not going to be overly entertaining. The object with collider. Make sure your game object collider is collider. So it's a collision object, I think, and on collision enter. That seems familiar to me. On collision enter. You should use on collision enter. If you want to make it with a specific object, try something like function on collision enter hit collision if hit.transform.gameObject.name equals name of your object, then do the following. That sounds like a good idea. The cool thing I do like about Unity as well is that you can tag objects. So each thing in Unity is an object. You can give it a tag. So you can okay enemy. So you can give all the enemies, no matter what they look like, the tag of enemy. And you can write code that says, or if anything with the tag enemy does this, then do the following. Or if player hits enemy, then do a thing. So it doesn't have to be, or if player hits skeleton, if player hits monster. It's just, well, anything with the tag, do the following, which is quite cool. So someone's in this bit of example on the forums here said, well, you can tag water. So all objects of water can be tagged water, and go if player hits water, then change animation to swim, for instance. Or if your game says nothing can swim and everything dies in water, if object touches water, then object is destroyed. Would you want to make a full career switch to game dev, or do you want to do something like software development more professionally? I wouldn't mind doing game dev as a proper career. It interests me far more than my current career choice, which is general software. Well, where I am at the moment, I'm not a software developer. I just develop software, if that makes sense. My job is not software developer. My job is fix whatever breaks. But making software makes my job easier and makes everyone else's job easier. But I'm not employed to do that, if that makes sense. Which is not great for me, because I'm not employed to be a software developer. Yes, I do. So if I moved into a company that paid me as a software developer, they would be quite worth staying in that field. But I know game developers don't tend to get a lot of money. I'm not sure what the salaries are like in game development compared to general software development. There's a heavy crossover, but games don't seem to be... I don't see many adverts for game development. Maybe I'm not looking hard enough. But there's loads of people going, we want someone to make software for us. Because all the companies want software. Or they're selling software, and they want people to make more software. So I'll probably try and work more into the software developer career, and maybe make a switch into game development after I've made more of a hobby out of it, got some more experience. And if I want to get hired as a game developer, I can take what I've made my hobby and go, well, this is what I can do. But at the moment, all my knowledge and experience that I can show anyone is pure software development. But it's not a bad thing. I can build you a full system that your entire business can run on, if you really want to. I can run the database, I can run the servers. Hey Jack, how's it going? Still doesn't show me the emotes off YouTube, which is frustrating. Hope you're having a fantastic birthday. And you enjoy your steak. You still need to think of what see nothing there. It doesn't translate the emotes from YouTube, which is annoying. Obviously it won't show on Twitch, but for me at least, like in the bottom corners, you would expect it to say what the emote is. And even the bot doesn't bring it through. I'd have to actually click on YouTube to see the emotes. But yeah. Tomorrow night I'll speak to both Nicks. Well, I'll speak to Nicks and come relay back to you, Jack. We'll work out what we want to eat tomorrow night. We'll make something up. But yeah, so on collision enter. I think that is the piece of script. On collision enter. So it's not getting the collider. Well, not for now. We'll leave that in there. It's not going to hurt. So we want another. So on collision enter. I did enjoy the steak, thank you. 2 glasses of JD down. Nice. I do like a glass of JD. In fact, I was going to drink tonight because I'm not doing much tomorrow. Not doing much tomorrow morning. But I might enjoy a drink on Friday streams. Might start doing that. Only a light drink. I don't want to become a heavy drinker on stream. But I was thinking about enjoying a drink. But tomorrow night I shall be enjoying a drink in honour of Woodcock Video's birthday. So yes, I shall save my drink for tomorrow. Is that personal? So not drinking like Jeffrey on stream. No. No, that was not a personal shot fired. No, for those who enjoy a drink, it's fine. But no, I feel if I make a habit of it, well, I'm thinking more the calories. I'm trying to cut down calories, trying to lose weight, and alcohol is liquid cake, as they say. If you're quite happy eating a slice of cake daily, or every time you stream, then you might push your calories up a bit too much. In Dutch we say liquid sugar. Yeah, that makes sense. Drunk stream when? Maybe. I've been thinking, especially now Sea of Thieves has private servers. You don't have to worry about people stealing your loot and sinking you. You can just play on a private server now in Sea of Thieves. I might dress as a pirate, play Sea of Thieves and drink rum. For a bit of fun at some point. Beer we call liquid bread. Yes, I think liquid bread is used here as well. Yeah, beer is very filling. It's lots of yeast in beer, so it's not far off of bread anyway. But yeah, the last time I played Sea of Thieves on stream, I was drinking rum. I was a little bit drunk. and I was dressed as a pirate until my internet kept cutting out, and then I stopped dressing as a pirate, sobered up, and kept restarting the stream just to try and get it to work. I do have those videos on YouTube somewhere. But I might have a tipsy rum drinking Sea of Thieves private server stream at some point. And we can open it up to 4 players on the private server. I think on a public server you can have up to 6 players in a crew. But on the private I think they've only got 4. I'll have to check it. I never tried it yet. Oh, this is a tune. Again, I'm not sure the music's coming through very loud for you folks, but Caravan Palace. So, if you're not familiar with a genre of music called electro swing, swing being the old kind of like 1940s swing? Is it 1920s? Can't remember. But there's an electro swing, which is more of an electronic dancey music with the elements of swing. There's a great artist called Caravan Palace who does electro swing, and they're playing on this copyright stream friendly playlist. Interestingly, I don't do extreme drunk no more. Where I stop getting where I stop gaming at 1 a.m. and just do chatting till 4 and stream my DMs. Yeah, that's probably not a good idea to do that anymore, which is good. I'm sure it makes for some entertaining content, but not for everyone involved necessarily. Those were some wild streams, yeah. I think a lot of streamers have had the equivalent of those. I've not had a so drunk I don't care what I'm doing kind of stream. I've always had a bit of drink. Even named some Jeffrey Unhinge. Ooh. Yeah. It works for some people. You can get away with this kind of wild, unfiltered stuff, but with platforms being as they are now, you can get yourself into a lot of trouble. Unless, of course, you do like a YouTube video and edit it after the fact, and you chop out anything controversial. That can work in your favour. But yeah, I shall only be drinking a glass or 2 of rum when I do my drunken pirate stream. But I don't really get drunk these days. I kind of drink enough so I got like a nice happy head buzz. Then don't drink any more alcohol until the buzz disappears, and then drink a little bit more. Sorry about that. I haven't done political talk, so never went too far. Ah, that's good. You've got some control of your filter. It's always good to have an idea of what you're doing. Collision.collider. I can't remember what. Let's go back to the forum. What's it saying there? If target.gameobject target.gameobject collision target. Do you like penguins, as in the small black and white birds that kind of waddle back and forth? I think they're pretty cool. Or you got the British chocolate bar, which is a small chocolate bar biscuit, very nice as well. The swim bird, yes, the birds that fly through the water. I like penguins. Never heard of the chocolate bar. Yes, they're mostly aimed at children, as most chocolate is. But it's 2 biscuits with like a creamy centre between them, and then the whole thing covered in chocolate. And on the little flap of the wrapper, because you know how the wrapper's wrapped around, you've got like a little seal, and it's folded over. If you unflap that, open up that little flap of the wrapper, they're kind of long biscuits, kind of rounded edges, but they're kind of like rounded rectangles. But two rounded rectangles with a little bit of cream between them, and then the whole thing covered in chocolate. But there's always, was it a joke or fact? I can't remember. It might be the fact. You lift the little flap of the wrapper up and just read underneath it. It's got like a little fact under there. And they're just the right size to put in children's lunches to take to schools. Very nice. In Dutch we have a biscuit, chocolate biscuit, but it's round. Okay. Might be similar. Jokes most of the time. Jokes. Thank you, Woodcocks. Yeah, so it's a joke. You lift a little bit of flap of the wrapper and you've got like a little joke inside, and then you open it up and have your chocolate biscuit thing. Very nice. Not had a penguin for a long time. But I like the chocolate biscuit penguin and penguins, the birds that swim through the water. Yeah, I suppose your round biscuit, chocolate biscuit would be a very similar, if not probably the more original idea. What is this song? Year 7 Bubblegum KK. I've sent a DM to me next. Let's have a look. Oh, okay. I might have had these, Jeffrey. I might have had these. I can't remember where I've had them. There might have been like a selection of biscuits. But yeah, that idea, but think of it as rectangular and the whole thing covered in chocolate as well. So you don't know there's a biscuit until you bite in. But very nice. Ooh. Let's have a look. Penguin biscuit. Or chocolate maybe. Those I don't know sound very nice. New cake bars as well. That is a nice picture. A little bit thicker biscuit as well, by the way. Oh, that's how to make a gluten-free penguin. Where's a nice picture of... Oh, Tim Tams. Tim Tams are supposed to be very similar to penguins as well. Tim Tams are Australian. Open the image there. Copy the image. Let's post that in here. Yeah, so I've posted you what a Tim Tam and a penguin looks like. But I've heard of Tim Tams. I've never seen them. I didn't realise they were basically penguins. I want to try that. Awesome. Yeah, Tim Tam is the Australian chocolate biscuit bar, and penguin's the British one. But they look near identical. Never been to Australia? I have not. I wouldn't mind going to Australia. But it's a long way, it's expensive. And as you say, there's a lot of stuff that can hurt you. And congratulations everyone for being in chatty lot with 100 messages this stream. Very cool. Coconut Mall from Mario Kart Wii. Is this really streamer friendly music? I suppose if it doesn't get flagged. I'll find out after the stream how many flags I've got playing this supposed stream friendly playlist. But yeah, penguins are nice in all sense of the word. Collision stay. We don't want to see what but so it's so if collider collision so dot game object. So collision dot game object. What's the next bit? Dot game object dot. So dot name. I suppose I can go dot tag. and just tag it ball, can I? Tag dot tag equals brackets name, so dot equals brackets ball. Is that where we want to go with this? Oh, equals true. I was just wondering, YouTube has way more latency than Twitch. Yes. Twitch is horrendous for latency. I do have it on the low latency. Twitch has free latency options when you stream. I mean, sorry, YouTube has free latency options. You got like high latency. Why did anyone want to stream on high latency? But it's a trade-off. So if you stream on the high latency, it's obviously takes ages, but the video is more stable. You don't have as many issues. You stream on the middle setting, which I do. You open yourself to possibly more video issues, but it's quicker, less latency, and there's a super low latency, which is near trying to get as close to Twitch as possible, but you might have more video issues, like it keeps stuttering and stuff. But I don't go for the super low latency. I go for the regular low latency. I wonder what YouTube would have looked like next to Glimish. Yeah, YouTube versus Glimish would have looked horrendous. But I've not heard this ages. Lemon Demon, the Ultimate Showdown. Remember that, the animation to this. Weird music selection. I don't think I'll listen to this playlist again, but it's been interesting. Okay, so we got the so we wrap it around an if statement. So if got if statement, so if collision.gameObject.tag.equals ball. I'll have to activate the clipboard. So make a true statement here. So if that equals true, do whatever's inside there. Miss Glimish, yeah, me too. I miss everything that Glimish could have been as well. They just wasted it. Was it log? Is it log? Is it log? Log? No, not logger. Is it logger? I'm sure it's log dot. No. It's a debug dot log. That's the one. So debug dot log. Ball has hit. Okay. Let's comment that out. So that should register that a ball has hit. What I will need to do is get this ball. If I can do this, and I'll be happy at this point because I registered a hit. Next thing to do would be to register where the hit is, get a location, and then possibly make a fire appear where the ball hits it, and that'll be a good start with that, I think. Can I tag this? How do I tag it? Tag is or tag? No. Oh, tag, there we go. Add tag. New tag, call it ball. Save. Choose ball. Okay, the ball is now tagged as a ball. Right, so we run the game, open the console. So the console in most editors, whether it's like a regular software editor or in this case Unity, a console gives you messages that while the software is running. So we do this. Whee! Hey, look at that. Oh, you can't see it, can you? Let's move the... where's the Unity window? Move that over to there for now. So, I'm not sure if you can read that. It says ball has hit, which suggests the ball hit twice. Remove our bard out of the way because he's causing issues, as usual bards do. Replay the game again. Okay, so you can see the console is clear because we had no messages. We've only just started the game. Bowl the ball at that. And we have a message saying the ball has hit, the ball has hit. So it must obviously register when the ball hits the tower initially, and as it falls it's still touching the tower, so it's hit it again effectively. Cool, I'm happy with that. I think now it's hit midnight and we've worked out a new mechanic for the game. And my OBS says I'm overloading for some reason. I shall leave it there. I might do some more game development next Friday, which would be pretty cool. We'll move back to this screen. Let's make sure it is saved. But yeah, it's not been a massive amount of progress. Is that a bit blurry? Am I blurry? I don't know. It might just be my face. That looks a little bit sharper. So coming out of Unity now. Next week I'll probably do some more game development and work out where on the collider. Turtle. Epic stream. Glad to have you both here. Thank you both for joining. Thank you, Max. Thank you, Woodcock Videos. Thank you, Nix. Thank you, anyone else who's been lurking. Yeah, I'll probably do some more game development next Friday. And yeah, work out where on the castle has been hit. And then spawn the fire. I think that might be interesting. It'll be a good progress. No Damien here today. He spent most of the day in my room sleeping, and he just decided, I don't want to sleep anymore, and disappeared shortly before I went to stream. His loss. Yeah, I hope you have a good night. Enjoy your weekend. Back on Monday we'll play Minecraft, if everyone's up for that. Have a go on Minecraft. Start this server, and hopefully Fall Guys is less buggy for you soon. Go back to that possibly at some point, and then eventually Stardew Valley 1.6. Pretty cool. So Monday will be our usual co-op stream, but playing some Minecraft. So hope to see you all then. Hope you have a good weekend. Enjoy the rest of your night, and I'll see you on Monday. Have a good night.